Alright guys, welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is Ali Plays, and today we're going to be doing the top 10 legendary champions that you should definitely use books on. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to DJ RNG, aka J Gigs. So check out his channel. He did a rap about the whole Dracogate 2020 situation. You guys can go check that out on his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. And this guy's got bars, so you guys got to check him out. Alright guys, so before we begin the video, I want to discuss something. So we've passed 5K subscribers, so thank you guys for that. So I actually want to do a giveaway, but Plarium only does 240 gems giveaway, so we might do that as well. And I want you guys to, because I am sponsored by BlueStack, so I have affiliate links. By the way, this is my nephew. Say hi, nephew. Hi. Yeah, so I do have an affiliate link for BlueStack. So there's a game in the description. So if you guys download that game, the money that I will get from that game will go towards doing giveaways for you guys. So it would actually be much bigger than what Plarium is able to give us. What? Yeah, so make sure you guys use that link if you guys want me to do giveaways. And yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Use the link.
All right, so we are doing the top 10 legendary champions you should definitely book. So this is not in any specific order. And while doing this video, I realized that there are more than 10 champions that deserve to be booked. So yeah, when we make another video, it's gonna be a part 2. So the first champion we're gonna be discussing is Arbiter. So Arbiter is technically a free-to-play champion and one of the best supports in the game. She can literally be used in any aspect of the game. Her best abilities are her A3 and A4, and they actually synergize with each other. Her Destiny's Call ability is on a 5-turn cooldown if you max it out, and that is actually much better than the initial 7-turn cooldown before using books. So basically, whenever an ally dies, she will revive them and fill the turn meter of all allies by 20%. And not only that, she is granted an extra turn, which she then can use her Mentor of Heroes ability. That can be a 3-turn cooldown if you max this one out. It's originally a 4-turn cooldown, which further fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%. So you're essentially giving your whole team a 50% turn meter boost, which is actually very, very huge, especially if you have slower champions that do a lot of damage. So to top it all off, she also gives increased attack to all allies, and she heals allies by 25% of their max HP. So we just only talked about 2 abilities so far. So let's go over her A1 and her A2 as well. So her A1 can be maxed out if you want to increase the chance of her placing weaken on the clan boss or any enemies. And her A2 is an AoE ability. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it can reduce the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn, which is actually huge against unkillable and block damage buffs teams. And booking this ability make it a 100% chance of doing his job as long as you pass the accuracy check. So if you have Arbiter, definitely book her, and hopefully you guys get her soon from the challenge missions. So Martyr, she has decreased defense. She has AoE decreased attack with an AoE provoke, and to top it all off, she's one of only 3 team counterattack champions in the game that can also increase defense. I'm not saying the other ones can, but she increases defense with her counterattack. Now let's make things clear. Martyr needs 11 legendary books to max out, and I'll highly advise doing so. So 11 is pretty high. And upgrading her A1 ability, it will boost the chance of placing the decreased defense from 45% to a whopping 75%. So that is a big difference. Her Bastion of Faith ability can be on a 3-turn cooldown, and her A3 can have increased damage while also reducing its cooldown by 2, making it a 4-turn cooldown. So don't be afraid to use your precious skill books on Martyr. She's a very, very good champion. I know from experience I have Martyr. So if you have Martyr, she actually gets much better one book, so definitely book Martyr. This guy, Sir Nicholas, one of the greats. Let me explain why he needs skill books. So his A1 just increases damage when booked, but it does a lot of damage, so further investing into his strength is a good idea, like most champions. His A2 ability is an AoE ability, so AoE means attack all enemies or area of effect. Sorry, not attack all enemies. AoE is an area of effect ability, which essentially attacks all enemies. So further increasing the damage will give you a bigger shield while also decreasing the cooldown to 3 turns, which is pretty big for Sir Nicholas because his shield is beast. Goodwill is great for healing and placing unkillable, and decreasing the initial cooldown of 6 turns to 4 turns is definitely amazing. So overall, Sir Nick needs 10 skill books, and he is a great investment if you are lucky enough to pull him. So Valkyrie is a special case because she does not need to be maxed out. And she only has 2 abilities, 2 active abilities, and the one that you need fully booked is her A2 ability. So her A2 places a team counterattack that also contains a big shield. And a trick with Valkyrie is actually placing an increase of defense on her before using her A2 ability, which will make her shield huge. Since it's based on her defense. So for defense, if she gets defense up, she's going to have a bigger shield. Using books on this ability will make her shield bigger and more importantly decrease the cooldown of 3 turns. So again, if you're lucky, you might be able to get away with using only 6 books on Valkyrie as opposed to 11. So in the meantime, if you guys do not have her cooldown reduced, you can actually use Reflex Set on her, which has a chance to decrease her cooldown whenever she takes a turn. All tan. So I have never played with the all tanned man. I think that's why they call him all tan, because he has a tan. But I faced him many times in arena. So this guy does a lot of damage, and he needs to do it because whenever he kills an enemy, he revives one of his allies. So that's essentially making him an offensive support. So his basic attack actually has a 60% chance to place decreased attack on it, but when he maxes it out, it jumps to 75%. And the damage boost is also good because he needs the damage to work with his passive ability. As I said, when he kills somebody, he revives his allies. His A2 ability is good. It attacks one enemy, places a 60% increased defense buff on allies for 2 turns. And then he also places a shield buff on allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of their max HP if this attack kills an enemy. So this attack will not play shield on clan boss, obviously, because you can't kill the clan boss. And there's no ads. But for arena, it is very good. And he requires 9 skill books to max out. So definitely max out all 10. So yeah, we do have another barbarian legendary. We have Torvald here. So let's make this one quick. So he does a ton of damage. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that he does a ton of damage. And increasing his A1 will actually take his chances of placing the weaken from 55% to 75%. And using books on his A2 ability will decrease the cooldown to 3 turns, which he actually needs because it synergizes with his A3 ability. This double hit ability does more damage according to the number of buffs on Torvald, and decreasing the cooldown to 3 turns. And decreasing the cooldown of 3 turns is a game changer for this massive damage move. So overall, Torvald needs a lot of books, which is 11 to be exact, but he's definitely worth the books. Alright, so now that we are in the Ogren tribe, we're going to talk about Big Gun. He is one of the highest damage dealers in the game. He's capable of slaying waves with one ability. And to top it off, he also has stuns on his A2 and turn manipulation on his A3. So Big Gun needs 12 skill books to max him out, and I actually advise you guys to do it. He needs all the damage he can get, so the damage upgrades are all worth it. His A2 ability can also play stun, but when not maxed out, it's only a 30% chance. And if you use books, it jumps up to 50%, so that is much better. Molten Slag's first 2 upgrades are huge in terms of damage, and decreasing the cooldown of this ability to 5 turns is nice to have. So if you have Big Gun unbooked, Big Gun unbooked, what are you waiting for? Yeah, you guys gotta book your Big Gun. So while we're here, we're gonna talk about Ignatius. So this guy is another beast. He needs 11 skill books to max out, but all the upgrades are needed. And let's take a look at his kit and I'll explain why. So his basic attack only has a 15% chance of placing a stun, but if you actually max it out, not only does it do more damage, but it increases his stun to 25% chance. His AoE ability that has a 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn on all enemies is very good. And you can actually increase that 50% to a 75% chance of placing provoke. So he definitely does need a book for that. And you can decrease the cooldown of 4 turns. And Turn to Ash ability attacks all enemies, and he has a 75% chance of placing HP burn debuff for 2 turns. And this debuff cannot be resisted. So it's a very good idea to max this out, make it a 100% chance of placing the HP burn, and decreasing the cooldown of 5 turns. So yeah, this guy is very good. He's very good in Spider's Den. I've seen him in Arena as well. He can be used in tandem with Tormund the Cold. So the best Orc Legendary surely deserves your books. So this guy is also one of the best support champions in the game. And I was actually sleeping on him when I first started playing the game. So he needs 10 skill books to max out, and let's go over why he is worth it. Let's take a look at his skills. So he attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn. So he is a debuff extender, which is good. And then you can actually increase that chance to 40% chance if you max it out. So that is well worth it. His A2 ability places the block debuffs buff on all allies for 1 turn. Again, that is very good in Arena because of Tormund the Cold. If Warlord goes first and places the block debuffs, you shouldn't have an issue in Arena. And then he also places a shield equal to 30% of his max HP on all allies for 2 turns and restores all allies HP by 25%. So that is a very, very powerful ability. And this can be a 3-turn cooldown when maxed out, so highly advised to max him out. Another AoE, Orcish Rituals. He has a 70% chance to put each target skills on cooldown. This is actually very powerful as well. So if you're not facing Tormund, you can just pop this ability in the beginning. And then he has a 30% chance to fully deplete each target's turn meter, which is huge in Arena. And if you max this out, he has a 60% chance to fully deplete each target's turn meter. And he also has a 100% chance to put each target skills on cooldown. So definitely worth it, and it's a 5-turn cooldown if you max it out. So last one on part 1 is Duchess Lilitu. So when I pulled Duchess, I knew she was good. but she is one of the only champions that greatly exceeds my expectations. So she can be used in anywhere in the game, like literally anywhere. And she's actually my favorite support unit in the game. So when I fully booked her, she got even better. So I know a lot of people hate on her because of how good she is. And Plarium actually confirmed that she's not getting nerfed. So assuming you have her, why not use books on her? So she only needs 8 skill books, so she is not very expensive to max out, which is below the average of other legendary champions. And yeah, let's take a look at why she should be booked. So her basic attack is a double hit. She places a shield equal to 10% of her max HP for 2 turns on herself and the ally with the lowest HP. So you can actually increase her shield if you do this and increase her damage, which I highly advise doing. And Shroud of Souls ability is very, very powerful. Not only does she use block debuffs on her allies, she also plays increased attack while throwing a perfect veil on them, so you can't target them unless it's an AoE ability. And you can decrease the cooldown of 4 turns, so this is very good against Torvald and the Cold teams. I make her the fastest. She goes first, places block debuffs, and the fight's usually over. Spectral Rebirth probably might be her strongest ability, actually. So she revives old dead allies with 70% HP, and then she places the Veil buff on all allies except herself for 1 turn, and then she places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. And that's a 4-turn cooldown when maxed out. And then her passive ability is great because it does not require any skill books and is very strong. So it decreases the damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks by 25% and 15% from bosses. So this is why she is good in clan boss. And she can decrease the damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks by 40% if they are under a veil buff. And that's 25% from bosses. Yeah, so these abilities over here, these two, A2 and A3, are very good. She's usually a very fast champion. She's going to be getting a lot of turns, so these are going to be off cooldown pretty quickly. So yeah, definitely book Duchess Lilitu if you have her. So I guess it's time to conclude the video. So there are definitely more champions than 10. So if you guys are wondering why your champion is not on this list, it's because I'm only putting 10. So I'm not doing honorable mentions because I will be doing another video. I'll do a part 2. And then hopefully one of your legendary champions is on the list. So if you guys found this video helpful or entertaining in any way, make sure you guys drop a like. And if you guys are new to the channel and you'd like to see, then consider subscribing. I make great legends content. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.